The achievement of something desired, promised, or predicted. The definition of fulfillment. But what does this really mean? How does one know they truly have what they've always desired? As humans have evolved over thousands of years, a few questions have stayed the same. People will always look within themselves and ask what fulfills them, what truly matters to them. Nature is a wonderful creation. God put beauty all over this earth, but it can be so overlooked because of the evils and chaos of society today. The earth is filled with towering mountains, vast ocean, dense forests, and exceptional animals wandering all over. There is meaning and purpose that can be found in these beautiful outdoors. This is not our planet. There's so much more to it than just humans. But we have been invited to explore and cherish nature, so long as we treat it with respect and preserve it. Embracing the outdoors and nature is just one thing that may be somebody's everything. I will argue that exploring our planet and all Mother Nature has to offer is one of the greatest gifts humans have received from God. Nature is the truest and most beautiful thing in the world to me. Everyone has to find this love, this thing that can fill their soul till the day that they die. See, a successful life isn't defined by how much money you've made or how many fancy things you've had. A successful life is looking back as it comes to a close and being genuinely happy because you gave something your attention and love and let it become a part of you and help shape you. So ask yourself, what truly is feeding your soul?
I grew up in the Bay Area in California around so many amazing, incredible people, incredible families, and I've had the best friends my entire life, which I'm so grateful for and will always cherish. I think with that came a sense of contentness and just such utter happiness that I was always so satisfied my entire life. I had a great childhood growing up.
1, 2, 3!
Superman in the puddle!
And I think I got through high school and then up until college, and I'd always just kind of gone through the motions and lived in the present, which I think is a very important thing and something I actually am still working on getting better at in my life now. But I think humans in general let things take away from living in the present a lot. I may have been living in it too much because I wasn't too concerned about what my life was going to look like in a couple years, how it would shape up in college, and then what I was going to do with my life. And so that definitely led to a little sense of feeling a bit lost once I got to school, which I think is okay and something that, you know, a lot of kids experience in their first year in college. But for me, I guess I just struggled with it more. And then as someone who puts a lot of pressure on themselves with being happy and having a successful life, just then thinking and stressing too much about what my life was going to look like down the line. Hey, I think I need to take maybe a semester off, some time off, and really think about what I want to do with my life and what makes me happy, because at that time I wasn't the happiest I'd ever been. And I think I was just missing a lot of things from earlier in my life, but it was not good to dwell on the past. I want to think about the future in a healthy way, which I was working on, and that is when my parents, specifically my mom, first mentioned a NOLS course and how important and amazing that they think that that could have been for me, and turns out was.
When Connor first approached us and said that he wanted to hit the pause button between his freshman and sophomore year of college, we thought, what could he do that would be purposeful and meaningful? I used to work in the summer program business, and so I've been very familiar with NOLS. NOLS is a over 60-year, well-respected, renowned outdoor leadership program. And I said to him one day, I said, you know what, why don't you sit down and take a look at NOLS and see what you think? And he spent a lot of time exploring and looking at the website, and he came to us and he said, you know, I think this might be the right thing for me to go and do.
And so I read about it a little, and I was instantly hooked when I saw their course in New Zealand for a semester doing backpacking, sea kayaking, and mountaineering. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, and I think I was pretty quick to decide, like, yes, this is what I want to do, and I knew in my heart, like, this, I want this. I think this is going to bring me so much peace and a new direction and understanding of what matters to me, which I'd been looking for a couple months or a little well over a year at that point. It was the hardest thing I've ever done mentally, but also physically, and I think I needed that challenge in every way. It pushed me out of my comfort zone a lot. I'm definitely a quieter person, a little more introverted. Obviously, I mentioned the, you could say, activities that we were doing for about a month each out in the field in different locations around the South Island of New Zealand. But I had never camped. I'd never done really anything. My most experience with the outdoors was skiing growing up. I've always been a big skier. But this was so much different from what I was about to step into. And everyone else in my group definitely had a little more experience with that. So that at first made me feel a little more uneasy, and I already didn't know people, was barely saying anything, was kind of just there and going along with the movements. But I just asked myself and told myself, like, you signed up for this for a reason, you're here for a reason. You gotta take advantage of it. Connect with these people, start learning about them, learn about yourself, put all your effort into what the instructors are teaching you, and just try and get out as much as possible from that you can from this. And so I think that mindset helped me a lot. The first couple days, week, were definitely challenging out in the field. We began with mountaineering, and we were just coming out of winter there in New Zealand, so there was still a bunch of snow. We got hit with 2 snowstorms, which was actually a lot of fun. And I have some great memories from there. But it was definitely hard. It was a transition. I mean, you're completely disconnected from the world. No phone, no anything. You're out there just in the wild. I mean, it is the most true, raw human experience in nature that you could possibly imagine. And we were so off the grid and away from people. We would carry our rations for about 7 days at a time, so a week's worth of food. And the next ration would get dropped in by helicopter because we weren't even accessible by foot or car, just completely out there living the most amazing and simple and just gratifying life that you could possibly live. Learned so many things so quickly, became more experienced and confident in the outdoors, and managing all that goes into that.
Like any parent, we were a little apprehensive, a little nervous, but had full faith that he had teamed up with a very reputable outfit and program.
I think I learned from all this so quickly too what was kind of feeding my soul, what really mattered to me, and made me happy. At the end of the day, you're doing a NOLS course to challenge yourself, learn about yourself, and have honestly this kind of otherworldly experience that almost 100% of people can't say that they've done anything like that.
100%, the biggest change we saw in Connor after completing his NOLS course was a new sense of confidence, a deeper sense of confidence and a deeper sense of resiliency, confidence that he could take risks and overcome extreme challenges, of which there were many in New Zealand, and to prove to him that he could do hard things, dig deep and do hard things. And that is one of, I think, the most impactful and important things about NOLS, or any program like this, not just NOLS, but any program that pushes kids and challenges them to show them what they're really truly capable of.
It was such a unique story, and it made me just fall in love with the simplicity of life and how much we overcomplicate it, and how much happier I know I was and everyone else around me was, and I think anyone really would be with a simpler life. Whether you're living out in the outdoors in a tent, sleeping under trees like we were or not, I think it just taught me so much about how simplicity is the true key to happiness and fulfilling yourself. You don't need all these things, fancy cars, flashy houses, jewelry, whatever.
They provide kids an opportunity to really disconnect from the world, but connect with themselves. And I think that is one of the greatest lessons and values that NOLS offers. Additionally, I think it really showed Connor, who has grown up in an area where there are many resources right at his fingertips, that there is a lot of beauty and simplicity in living in nature and slowing down life and connecting with things.
Like I said, I think a successful life is not defined by how much money you've made or how many fancy things you've had, and I really believe that. Now, I think my idea of success has drastically shifted from doing something like a NOLS course, and is something that anyone should give thought to doing a NOLS course, or even something like this. Just go out in the wilderness for a week and just connect with nature, all that God has created. I think it is one of the most beautiful things that you can do, and it may sound ridiculous or so simple, but I think it can completely transform a person's life and shift their perspective so quickly.
We are very, very happy that he experienced this, and it sparked a whole new interest and love in him for the greater outdoors and a simpler, peaceful life.
I know this is something that anyone else could find as well, so I encourage anyone to give it a shot, whether it's a NOLS course or anything. Just give it a shot. Live this simpler life. It really is for the better. Since going on this NOLS course to New Zealand and learning all that I did about myself, about leadership, about simpler life, about the outdoors, everything, I have thoroughly enjoyed and seek out spending as much time in the outdoors as possible since I've done different trips since and been fortunate enough to do things with friends and show them my love for camping or backpacking or skiing, mountaineering, like climbing, just so many things. And I've brought that about some of my friends. One of my friends is actually going to do a course soon this summer in Alaska, so I'm super happy that some of the things I've talked about have resonated with people and inspired them to not follow suit, but definitely consider the impact of something like a NOLS course. And I think I just will never forget all of the amazing experiences I had with my friends in New Zealand. We had so many amazing laughs, and we were just surrounded by so much positivity. I remember some moments in sea kayaking, we were in a torrential downpour. We had a storm for days. We got a lot of rain during the sea kayaking section in the Marlborough Sounds. But 3 of my friends and I were laying in our tent playing games, just hearing the rain bat down on the tent, the winds blow everything, and it was just us in the present moment with our games and our thoughts and laughs and the rain outside batting down. Our little food we cooked up or our snacks, whatever it may have been. And little moments like those are some of my favorite, as well as some of the bigger moments. A couple weeks into mountaineering, we had progressed up from the valley up into the mountains, and it was our group summit day. So all 10 of us, including plus the 4 instructors, so the 14 of us summited a mountain near Mount Cook, which is a famous mountain in the South Island of New Zealand. And this was one of the most incredible days of not just my NOLS experience, but of my entire life. It truly was extraordinary. And our group and all the instructors, we got to the top after a long day of waking up. I think we got up at 4:35 a.m. before the sun came up, put on our crampons and hiked up the ice. And the moment at the top, we had sat down and everyone was laughing, having a good time, celebrating, like just taking in the moment. And we all just decided to sit down and take a moment of silence and just kind of listen to the sounds. Although we were so high up on top of a mountain, there really were no sounds besides the wind, but listen to our thoughts. Just feel as immersed in it as you possibly could. And I think this was one of the most alive and incredible feelings. You can't put it into words how I felt like this, and there will be no way to describe it. It was absolutely surreal. I still think about this all the time and how just alive and amazing that I felt, and I know everyone else did during that moment. Everyone had their own thoughts, everyone's living their own life, but it was just such an amazing experience to share all together, even though we had our own experiences within our own minds. And so that's something I'll be grateful for forever. And I just know how much this experience, and then my experiences after, because of what it taught me, have led to my soul feeling fulfilled. My mind, my body, everything. I think I've just been so much more grateful for everything that I have and the opportunities that I've been given, the people around me, everything. It just contributes to every aspect in your life. I think in doing this documentary, I wanted to share this message to as many people as possible. And I have no idea how many people I will reach, but I hope the people that I do, the impact my words and this story make on people, inspire them to find what really fills their soul. And I'm very confident that I've been able to do this.